everyone, and welcome back to another video. So we're just finishing up doing our last little bit in the NT before we head back to Queensland.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up now. It's the end of September, and yeah, we're going to be back in our home state, which is a bit exciting, but also scary because we don't want to go back home, but we'll have to at some point. So yeah, we are making our way down to Daly waters tonight.
Alrighty guys, so that was a little quick one night stay at the Daly Waters pub. Yeah, it was really good. They had a happy hour last night for 2 hours, and then we also got their reef and beef, which is a barra.
Beef and barra,
yeah,
same thing.
Oh yeah, and then we also got just got half a palmy. But yeah, it's a good little setup if you need a camp. You just camp to the side of the pub. But that's it. That's all that's really there. It's just
yeah, you don't really need to spend more than one night there. It's just a stopover. But definitely recommend stopping in because
it's very quirky.
One of the most iconic pubs in Australia, and good food and drinks. But yeah, today we are heading a bit of a different way. We're not heading on the main highway down to Tennant Creek. We're actually heading east over to, correct me if I'm wrong, Borroloola. So it's pretty much right in the northeast part of the NT, and it's in the Gulf section. So we're going to head up there and do a bit of exploring and some fishing up and around that area, because it's meant to be some of the best fishing in terms of barra in the country. So we might do a charter, we might just try some land-based stuff up there, and then we'll kind of determine how long we're going to be there for, and either head down to Mount Isa or we might head across to Burketown.
Everyone, we just had a quick lunch break at Heartbreak Hotel.
Yeah, we just had some little tuna rice bowls, and yeah, we stopped there to have a break, and the road's been pretty much single lane the majority of the way, a couple of kind of double lane parts, but yeah, it's all been sealed. There were a few roadworks at the start that you kind of had to deviate off the highway a bit on a bit of gravel, but I think they're kind of redoing the whole highway, so it'll be nice once that's done. Yeah. So we've got about another hour to Borroloola, and we might either stay there or King Ash Bay. MacArthur River. Just been fishing this little spot with a few snags, and I've had a few hits. I reckon mangrove jack, maybe barra. Been coming up and fucking hitting it, but they're not actually getting the hook. So I've been here for about half an hour. I'm going to move down a little bit, try another spot, and see what we can get. All right, 3 hours on the riverbank. Tried a few different spots, softies, hard plastics, poppers. Got a few good hits, but just couldn't get one. We'll try again tomorrow. All right, I just had a fucking barra on the line. He hit this soft plastic. He's right in there. Same spot as yesterday. And I had him on for about 10 seconds. Got to try and get him again.
Just leaving King Ash Bay now, so we spent the last 3 nights there, and yeah, it was a really good, something different, something we haven't done before. So
yeah, I didn't really know much about it, but one of my mates told me about it, and I thought, oh, we're kind of coming this way and we'll go a different way to the main highway, so yeah, I reckon it was worthwhile. Yeah. We didn't leave at the Barramundi, which
almost
Deborah about. I hooked up to one, and I nearly had one in, but couldn't quite land him, which is unfortunate, but anyway, got to keep trying. But yeah, it's really good there. They got a servo with a kind of grocery store, a pub. Yeah,
it's only small, like I would still stock up before you come.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as remote in that sort of sense that we thought. Like there was still quite a lot of meat and things like that if you do want to stay longer or whatnot.
Yeah.
And speaking to some people there, it's wild. Like the lady who was next to us had been there for
17 years.
No, she lived there. The lady that was visiting had been there for 2 months, just travelling through and just liked it. So yeah, I think people do stay quite a long time. If you've got a boat, would be way better. Yeah, we'd be able to stay longer.
All the islands and do a bit more, but still recommend stopping in if you're kind of in the area.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've got an 8-hour drive down to Barclay Homestead. So we're about 10 minutes out from the Barclay Homestead, which is the destination for the end of today. So it definitely didn't take us as long as the map said. This morning it was saying a bit over 8 hours.
Yeah, roughly 8 hours.
And it's taken us about 6.5. I think the main reason why is we've come down on the Tablelands Highway, and it's a single lane bitumen road that's quite...
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
There's a few potholes and washouts, and obviously there's a few cattle stations down here too, so a lot of cattle, big trucks come through here, so you've got to pull off the road when they come through. But in saying that, we're still averaging like 80-90 k's an hour for most of it.
Yeah, because it's quite long straights, so you can sort of see when things are coming.
Most of it. The scary parts of the corners when you don't know if a truck's going to come around the corner or not, so you've got to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd take about an hour and a half off what maps are saying.
And that's including lunch as well. We did stop.
Yeah, that's true. That's including 2 stops. So say we probably even cut off 2 hours then off the travel time. So yeah, we're going to pull up here for the night, and then we'll be in Queensland tomorrow. Alright guys, so we're officially back in our home state, Queensland. Monique's having a drive while on the main highway, and yeah, we just stopped in Camberwell to fuel up, and we're a couple of hours from Mount Isa. So
yeah, it's the first sort of town in Queensland that
for a night or two, stock up again, and then yeah. Alright guys, we're just at the Three Sisters kind of waterfall here, but there's no water in it at the moment, obviously because we're at the end of the dry season. But we thought we'd just come check it out. It's about 20-25 minutes from kind of Mount Isa city, and yeah, a bit of a little kind of 4B track to get in. You probably don't need a 4-wheel drive, but if it had been raining, you might. So yeah, anyway, we'll check it out and take the dogs for a walk.
What have you got? What have you got? Wow!
What do you think you got then?
Alright everyone, so we finally made it out of Mount Isa, a little bit longer than what we expected. On Sunday they actually close all of their shops, so we couldn't leave yesterday, so we had to hang around again another day. But yeah, we've left now.
So keep that in mind if you're travelling through.
Yeah, interesting.
Woolies and Coles are closed on a Sunday. So our end plan is actually to get up to kind of Gregory and then Burketown. But we're actually going to do a bit of a detour and go to Walkabout Creek Hotel, which is the famous Crocodile Dundee pub, and then also the Julia Creek Artisan Bar. So we're kind of going east, and then we're going to cut up north to Gregory from there. So
yeah. Yesterday we enjoyed one of the artisan baths at Julia Creek. From memory it's about $60 if you're staying there.
Time slots.
Yeah, and for sunset. So it's different prices if you're not staying and different prices for sunsets, and there is 2 kinds of baths. But yeah, that was really worth it. It's nice to just have, like, you get 45 minutes there, so yeah, it was nice.
And we went to Drover's Dog for a feed and a drink, which is good too in town.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty small town. And then today we headed up to Gregory, and we're camping at the Gregory River now, which is pretty cool.
It's an epic little spot. It's got, yeah, like a lazy river, but it's quite fast, so.
Yeah, it's like a freshwater river, and there's a good kind of current going through it, so you can kind of float down. And yeah, free camp, and there's a little kind of pub in town here as well. And then tomorrow we'll head up to Burketown. Yesterday we stopped in at Burketown and I had a feed at the pub, and then we stayed just outside of town at a river camp on the Albert River. It was pretty hot and windy there, so we ended up staying one night.
Yeah, there's a few different spots along the river, and to book it you actually have to go into the information centre in town.
Yep.
And book that way. But yeah, we were thinking of staying too, but it's just not a lot of shade and
yeah, it's just a bit hot. And I mean,
yeah,
I caught my first barra, which is a tick off the list. So I got a little, about probably 45 centimetre barra off the bank, which yeah, I'm stoked with. And yeah, we did a bit of fishing there, but there's not much else to do, so we're going to head to Normanton and then possibly stay in Karumba tonight. We stayed at Karumba Point at the Sunset Caravan Park for 3 nights. One of the days, we woke up early and did a fishing charter with my dad and his mates on mixed fishing charters. We opted for a half day, which left around 6:30 in the morning and back by 10:30. I would recommend starting with a half day if you haven't been to the Gulf before, because it is quite different. We caught a heap of blue salmon and kept about a dozen, as we didn't have heaps of room in the freezer. We also caught many catfish, which were bloody annoying. Unfortunately, Barramundi season was closed, which means you can't keep them, but technically you can still catch and release. We had a try in the river system, but no luck. Sunset Tavern was an awesome spot for a drink and a meal. We ended up there most afternoons. The Barramundi Centre in town was also worthwhile checking out. From here, we headed down through Georgetown and into Cobbold Gorge. We stayed one night, and the bar and the infinity pool were awesome. The next morning, we did the gorge tour.
everyone. So we just finished up the Cobbold Gorge tour. So it goes for about 3 hours and starts at 8 in the morning. So we did decide to stay there last night just to make it a little bit easier on ourselves.
Plus it's cheaper.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a discount, which sort of pays for your camping in a way. But yeah, it involved a few different aspects in the tour. You go in a really big full drive sort of bus. They take you out to where the gorge is. Heaps and heaps of information on the property and just the flora and fauna and stuff like that, which is really good. And then you do a little bit of a walk around and you go over the glass bridge, which I think is the only glass bridge in Australia.
Yeah, we were saying something like that.
Yeah, so pretty interesting, and you walking right over the gorge. So yeah, a little bit scary, but it's not a huge bridge or anything like that. So
then we went on some little tinnies through the gorge.
Yeah.
On the water, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You see a few crocs, which is pretty cool, and a few different little animals. But yeah, now we're leaving there.
Yeah. So we're going to make our way, I think, up to the kind of Tablelands today. But yeah, definitely recommend stopping in at Cobbold Gorge and checking it out in the area.